Hey everybody, thank you for catching another episode of Ducks Quacks at SPC 11. I don't know if you remember, but in the last episode we talked to Drashti, AC, Veronique, Paul about SharePoint Express. And Drashti talked about something interesting. She talked about this thing called the Creative Thinking Space that will be available at SPC 11. So I thought I'd talk to her some more and have her describe what this creative thinking space is all about, and more importantly, how it could benefit attendees at SPC 11. So Drashti, tell us more about this creative thinking space. Why'd you guys come up with it, and how can attendees use it?
Yeah, so the space is more or less the SharePoint Express space, which is your one-stop for SharePoint tips and tricks. So we've got sessions happening in the space that are a little bit more structured. They're 15 minutes long, there's 19 of them, and they happen during lunch and break time. But when we're not using the space for sessions, we wanted to have a place where people could connect and connect in an informal way and sort of do it in a really creative sort of way, because that's sort of the vibe that we're building around our end users and sort of like creativity and inspiration. And so in the space, you'll find that the videos from SharePoint.com will be playing. We'll have a couple of the fortune tellers and things for you to play with, and there'll also be just there'll be like giant sheets of paper and markers and Play-Doh and pipe cleaners for people to really take their ideas from just a conversation to something that's real and tangible that they can
So for example, let's say I'm an attendee, I attended one of the regular sessions, and suddenly I had a question about a specific use case or about SharePoint. I can come to this space, even with a colleague or somebody, just find somebody to talk about it, maybe use an easel pad, whiteboard, post-it notes, and start brainstorming.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea, is to sort of bring the conversations that you were having sort of in your head and you were trying to get a little bit more information on, and you found someone to connect with on this topic, and the two of you got your minds running and you want to turn it into something a little bit real, or you need some paper and pens to sketch it out some more. This is sort of the place to do it. It's sort of the place to foster your creative ideas.
And as we kind of discussed, you also mentioned there's going to be experts there. So when you talk about experts, so I suspect these would be some of the speakers, maybe partners, but there's actual engineers there, like the guys who built SharePoint. They're going to be there too, right?
Yeah, they'll definitely be at the booth out front. So if you're having an interesting conversation with them and you want to ask them some more detailed questions, I'm sure they'd be happy to properly show you what they do. And they'll be at the Microsoft booth throughout the day, and stop by and you can see the schedule for who's going to be sort of hanging out at the SharePoint Express booth in the Creative Think space. And there'll be like a full schedule out front for you.
Wonderful. And Creative Think Space, that's pretty much in the main Microsoft pavilion in the show floor expo hall kind of thing?
Yeah, you can't miss it. It sort of will look like official. It's got some plexiglass walls. It should have comfortable seating.
Right. How big is this space? How many people you can fit there?
From the diagrams, it looks like you can hold about anywhere from 30 to 50 people. So I've only seen it on paper, but what I've seen, I think it can hold a good number. So.
You know, I won't be surprised if some overzealous speaker just holds some random session there, but that'd be good.
Yeah, he's more than welcome. It's open to everyone.
Wonderful. So I know you guys have been working hard so much on SPC 11, and in a way, I know there's excitement and nervousness and maybe part relief. What are you looking forward to?
I think I'm actually really excited about this SharePoint Express and the space. As you can tell from my board, I'm a fan of colors and crafting, and that's sort of just how I think. And let me pull up. I've got a giant tube of Play-Doh on my desk. So when I brainstorm, I like to roll up little balls, and I think of them as users, and I'll put them in different buckets. And I'm sort of just interested to see what people do with the resources and the great ideas that come out of the space.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And also just to reiterate what you mentioned about SharePoint Express, after SharePoint Express, folks can get like these takeaway cards, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've asked all of the speakers that are doing a SharePoint Express session to put together their top 5 or top 7 things that they're going to cover in their 15 minutes, and those will all be available on a little quick reference card that you can pick up at the conference or download later from iusharepoint.com.
Awesome.
And it'll just be like the things you need to know about. The 5 things if you had to know anything about working with permissions on this card. That most of them have links to how-to articles or videos, and so I think that they're great resources. I'm definitely excited to share them with users.
This is great. I mean, traditionally, SharePoint Conference has been more technical and developer focused, but it's wonderful to see there's a lot of use cases, business focus, and initiatives like this that can certainly help the business and end users.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you again for sharing this whole concept creative think space, and definitely we'll be there. And hopefully, folks watching this, make sure to stop by. At the very least, get to play with Play-Doh, right?
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Take care, Drashti, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.